For centuries, scholars, explorers, and conspiracy theorists have debated the existence of Atlantis, a legendary island described by the ancient Greek philosopher Plato as a mighty civilization that vanished beneath the sea in a single day and night. Was Atlantis a real place, an allegory, or something else entirely? Could the lost city still be waiting to be discovered beneath the ocean? Welcome to our channel, where today we dive into the mystery of Atlantis, the theories surrounding its fate, and whether this legendary civilization ever truly existed. The story of Atlantis comes from the writings of Plato, one of the greatest philosophers of ancient Greece. In two of his dialogues, Timaeus and Critias, Plato described a vast, technologically advanced island that existed some 9,000 years before his time. According to his accounts, Atlantis was located beyond the Pillars of Hercules, believed to be the modern day Strait of Gibraltar, marking the entrance to the Atlantic Ocean. Atlantis, Plato tells us, was a utopian civilization, wealthy, powerful, and home to great advancements in engineering, architecture, and governance. But as with many great empires, the Atlanteans became corrupt, and their greed and thirst for power ultimately led to their downfall. As divine punishment, Atlantis was said to have been swallowed by the ocean, disappearing without a trace. However, what many don't know is that Plato's story was more than just a tale of destruction. It was a moral lesson about hubris, power, and the consequences of moral decay. But is there any truth to his account? Could Atlantis have been a real place, or was it purely allegorical? The idea of a lost city beneath the waves has inspired countless expeditions, both in ancient times and in the modern world. Even as early as the time of Plato, explorers were intrigued by the possibility that Atlantis was based on real events or places. Over the centuries, numerous attempts have been made to locate the lost city. Some have searched the Mediterranean, others the coasts of Spain, while many believe Atlantis lies somewhere deep beneath the Atlantic Ocean, as the name suggests. One of the most enduring theories places Atlantis near the Greek island of Santorini. Around 1600 BCE, a massive volcanic eruption devastated the Minoan civilization on the island of Thera, now Santorini. The eruption was so powerful that it destroyed much of the island, sending tsunamis across the Mediterranean. Some historians believe that this natural disaster could have been the inspiration for Plato's tale of Atlantis, a once thriving civilization obliterated in a single day by the forces of nature. But not everyone agrees with this theory. While the eruption at Santorini certainly parallels some aspects of Plato's story, other details like the timeline and geographical location don't quite match up. So where exactly was Atlantis? Over the years, several theories have been put forward, some grounded in history and others steeped in fantasy. And one of the most popular ideas is that Atlantis was located in the Americas. Early explorers like Christopher Columbus believed that the newly discovered lands of the Americas could be the remnants of the lost civilization. Other theorists argue that Atlantis was an ancient civilization based in the Caribbean or even Antarctica, which they claim was once ice-free and capable of supporting human life. There's also a more recent theory that suggests Atlantis could have been located off the coast of southern Spain near the marshlands of Doñana National Park. In 2011, a team of researchers led by archaeologist Richard Freund claimed to have found evidence of ancient structures buried beneath the mudflats, which they believed could be the remains of Atlantis. But this theory, like many others, has been met with skepticism from the wider scientific community. On the more fantastical side of things, some believe that Atlantis was not of this earth at all, but a colony established by extraterrestrial beings. Proponents of this theory claim that the advanced technology described by Plato far exceeds what any human civilization at the time was capable of, suggesting that Atlanteans were visitors from another planet. Their technology lost forever when Atlantis sank. Despite the endless fascination with Atlantis, many scholars believe that the story was never meant to be taken literally. Plato, after all, was a philosopher, not a historian, and much of his work focused on moral and political lessons. In the case of Atlantis, Plato may have used the story of a fallen empire to warn against the dangers of unchecked power and moral decay, a common theme in his work. Some historians argue that Atlantis was simply a myth, a story invented to illustrate Plato's philosophical ideas about governance, ethics, and the human condition. They point out that no other ancient sources mention Atlantis, and that Plato's descriptions of the city are often vague or symbolic. However, the tantalizing possibility remains that Plato's account was based, at least in part, on real events. The catastrophic eruption at Santorini, for example, occurred around the same time as Plato's Atlantis was said to have existed. And while Plato's timeline of 9,000 years before his time may seem far-fetched, it's possible that he exaggerated the numbers for dramatic effect, or that the story had been passed down through oral tradition and distorted over time. Whether or not Atlantis ever existed, its impact on popular culture is undeniable. From the works of Renaissance artists to modern-day films, Atlantis has captured the imaginations of people for centuries. The Lost City has been the subject of countless books, TV shows, and movies, including Disney's Atlantis, The Lost Empire, and the popular DC Comics series Aquaman, where Atlantis is portrayed as an underwater kingdom ruled by superhero royalty. Even video games like Assassin's Creed and Tomb Raider have incorporated the legend of Atlantis into their stories, blending history, mythology, and fantasy. This fascination with Atlantis speaks to a deeper human desire to believe in lost civilizations, hidden knowledge, and the possibility that something greater than ourselves once existed and may yet be discovered. And in recent years, advances in technology have allowed scientists to explore the ocean depths like never before. With the development of sonar mapping and underwater exploration vehicles, we've been able to map parts of the ocean floor that were previously inaccessible. And could these tools one day reveal the location of Atlantis. Some researchers think it's possible. After all, much of our planet's history remains hidden beneath the ocean. And we've explored less than 5% of the world's oceans. In 2001, a team of scientists from the United States and Russia announced the discovery of underwater structures off the western coast of Cuba. The formations appeared to resemble buildings, roads, and temples, sparking excitement that this could be the fabled city of Atlantis. And however, upon further investigation, the site was determined to be a natural rock formation, leaving the mystery unsolved. But this has not deterred Atlantis seekers. Researchers continue to scour the ocean floor, convinced that the lost city is out there, waiting to be discovered, whether through satellite imaging or future deep sea explorations. The search for Atlantis continues. So is Atlantis fact or fiction? Was it a real place or just an allegory invented by Plato to illustrate his philosophical ideas? The truth is, we may never know. Despite centuries of searching and theorizing, Atlantis remains as elusive as ever, a tantalizing mystery that keeps us looking to the seas for answers. Then, whether real or imagined, the story of Atlantis continues to resonate with us. It serves as a reminder of the fragility of civilization, the dangers of hubris, and the enduring human desire to understand our past. Do you think Atlantis was real? And if so, where do you believe it's hidden? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into history's greatest mysteries. Until next time, keep exploring, and remember, the truth may be closer than you think.